First, I'd like to start with an overview of original Medicare and the 4 different parts, parts A, B, C, and D. So we'll start with Part A. So Part A is going to be your hospital coverage, okay? And on the Part A, there is no premium. You've paid into the system for 40 quarters or equivalent to 10 years. So there's no cost for your premium. However, there is a cost for deductible, and that will cost you $13.40, and that is a benefit period of 60 days, which you can pay up to 5 times in the year. If you were to stay consistently in the hospitals from days 61 through 90, that goes to $335 per day. From days consistent from 91 through 150, we're looking at $670 per day. Can get quite costly. Realistically, a lot of people aren't going to pay that amount. A lot of times people are going to be transferred to what they called skilled nursing. So skilled nursing is going to be available for you once you've been admitted into the hospital for up to 3 nights. And the first 20 days of skilled nursing are covered by Medicare, so there's no cost to you there. Now, when you go from days 21 through 100, there is a cost if you're still in need of that care. That goes to $167.50, and that's per day as well. After days 100, Medicare does not cover that, and that's 100% out of pocket. However, there is a solution there. We do provide insurance for that portion that's not covered by Medicare, which Medicare does recommend for you to look into that. On page 49 and 50 of the Medicare and You book, you'll see them recommending a long-term care plan with a private insurance company such as us. And we'll get more into that after we finish learning more about Medicare, but just wanted to address that, why it was on the table. And now we can move to Part B of Medicare. Now, Part B is going to be your doctor cost. So with the Part B, there is a premium. Unlike the A, you do have to pay premium, which in this year was $134, and next year will slightly be going up, but not too drastically. So you do have a premium for Part B, but the deductible is much more favorable. The deductible is actually only $183 this year, and it's going up to $185 next year, but for now we'll use that $183, which is relevant for this year. So that deductible is a one-time deductible in the year. Once you pay that, you've met that deductible, you'll go into a system that Medicare uses, the 80-20 system. 80% Medicare covers, 20% out of pocket. Now, that 20% is where we're concerned, because unlike a lot of group insurances, that 20% is not capped. So that 20% could be 20% of, let's say, if you had surgery and it's a $100,000 surgery, you would owe 20% of that $100,000, which is 20 grand out of your pocket. So that's where we get supplemental insurance to cover that gap, or some people call it Medigap insurance, the supplemental insurance. So we can help you with that as well, and that's going to look different for each person, just depending on what they go to the doctor for, what kind of medications they take, what kind of doctors they see. So there's a few plans we suggest. The most comprehensive and most popular ones are going to be your N, your G, and your F. With all 3 of these plans, they are going to take care of your deductibles that we saw back on Part A. The $13.40 for the 60-day benefit period will be covered by your N, G, and F. Also, the skilled nursing from days 21 through 100, that was costing you $167.50. N, G, and F will also cover that, so that will eliminate that cost out of pocket. What N does differently than G and F in this situation is it doesn't do away completely with the 80-20, but what it does is reduce that 20% to a $20 copay. So $20 is much better than 20%. We've had clients that have had knee surgery, heart surgery for $20 just to pay the copay, and we've covered the rest of their surgery or procedures for them. So that one's recommended for someone that doesn't go to the doctor very often. aside from your preventative care, your annual checkups and things of that nature, if you're not going to the doctor very often, you can save monthly with the end plan. There's just a small copay, which again, if you're not going to the doctor often, that would be recommended. Whereas if you don't like the idea of a copay, perhaps G would be best for you, because G does get rid of the 80-20 completely, so you're not going to have that copay there. The only thing you're responsible for on G is a 183 deductible. Okay. Now F goes a step further, and it actually takes away and pays for the 183 deductible that we talked about that's on Part B, and also it takes care of the 80-20. So F is your most comprehensive plan. You see no bills on F. It covers everything. All you do for F is pay your monthly premium to the company, and you see no bills from the hospital. You see no bills from the doctors. All right. Now Part C is what they call an Advantage plan. The Advantage plans were started later after original Medicare, hence original Medicare was the first. Started in 1965. Medicare Advantage came later down the road, and it's more like a group plan, which you're used to with work insurance, where you have high deductibles and low premiums. It's very much like a group plan as well, with having networks. You have to have a network of doctors that you have to visit within. You can do outside network if you're on a PPO, but it does cost you. It costs you more. And you do need referrals on the HMO, but the PPO typically doesn't require referrals. Now, some people like this plan just because it is less expensive monthly. However, there is a lot of out-of-pocket costs. There's 20% diagnostic costs for testing or ambulance fees and things of that nature. To kind of balance out those inconveniences of those fees coming out, they do give you other programs such as Silver Sneakers, which is a gym membership, a free gym membership, and some of these plans will have dental and eye vision coverage as well. So if you are looking down the road, which I do advise my clients to think 10 years down the road, not where their health is now, but where it will be in the future, I would recommend doing the supplement before the Advantage plan. And if anytime you wanted to try an Advantage plan down the road, I would do that for you, but I would suggest starting with the supplemental plan. And then the last part that I mentioned was D. So that was C, the Advantage plan, and D. So D is for prescriptions, or to make it easier, D, we can say for drugs, for your prescriptions. So that's a separate plan in Texas. We're offering 27 different plans that will cover your prescriptions. So it's going to look different for each person. It just depends on what you take, what pharmacies you go to, and we'll figure that out just when I learn more about you. What are you taking, what doctors you're seeing. So we have 27 plans to choose from, which they annually change during open enrollment, and I will be back to visit you every year to make sure that you're on the best plan for what your needs are. So that one typically is a very low cost in premium, and then the cost for refills and prescription refills, it just varies depending on what type of medications you're taking. In just a 20-minute short consultation, we can help find a plan that fits both your needs and your budget.